Hi, I'm Michelle from Hangry District, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a not your average tea party for a girls' luncheon. All my best girlfriends are coming over and we're going to eat meat, drink gin cocktails, and have pie for dessert. The first thing I'm going to show you how to make is a simple roast beef for roast beef sandwiches. I'm going to do a simple preparation so it doesn't take too much time so I can get everything else ready. I can set the table beautifully, get my cocktails ready, have an appetizer out for when they come, and you don't have to worry about the stress of getting a huge entree ready. So the first thing we're gonna do is get our meat out. You wanna make sure you have a nice bottom round boneless roast, and you wanna bring it to room temperature. So when you get up in the morning, take your meat out and let it come to room temperature. That way it's not steaming in the oven and it will get a nice crisp on the outside. So today we're gonna do a garlic and herb crusted roast beef. It's very few ingredients. Just take whatever herbs you have on hand and some garlic, salt, pepper, olive oil. That's all you need. It'll take about 5 to 10 minutes to prepare, then you just put it in the oven and forget about it. So first I'm gonna show you how to peel some garlic cloves, an easy way. You're gonna take your garlic head, you need about 3 to 4 garlic cloves. You're just gonna peel them off. The garlic is gonna roast, so it will have kind of a nutty flavor. It won't be too intense. So I'm gonna peel most of the paper off of the garlic, and then you just use your knife, put it curved side down on your cutting board, take your knife, and just give it a good whack with the heel of your hand. That way the whole peel will just come right off. Give it another whack if you need to. And you're ready to chop. So this really works with any kind of herb. If you have anything in the house, whatever's fresh. I even use fresh pea shoots, which we're gonna use today. First I'm gonna chop up my garlic. You're just gonna do a rough chop with your knife. Garlic is a little sticky. Don't cut yourself. Just give it a rough chop all over your cutting board. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you can always add a little salt to the garlic to make it sort of into a coarse paste. So I'm gonna take a little salt, add it right onto the garlic. Sort of acts as a grinder. So that's a nice chop. And then I'm just gonna add some herbs to it. So I'm gonna take the garlic and just put it in a small bowl. We're gonna add herbs, olive oil, salt and pepper, and rub it on the beef. I also have my oven heating up at 325 degrees. So we're gonna let this roast low and slow for about an hour and a half, depending on how big of a cut of meat you have. I like mine medium rare, so I want it to get to an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. These are some local pea shoots from 3 Part Harmony Farm that I received in my CSA share. If you are thinking about thinking ahead to the spring, you're definitely gonna wanna check out some local CSA shares. You get different ingredients every time. They're local, you know where they come from, and they're always fresh. So we're just gonna give this a rough chop, just small enough so it'll turn into a nice paste with the garlic and the olive oil. This has a nice peppery and spring pea flavor since they are pea shoots. They come in fun tendrils like this. So they're really pretty if you use them you know, for sandwich toppings or in a salad. You can even top fresh fish with them. They look really beautiful. Okay, so we have a nice chopped pea shoot. And then I'm also going to use some rosemary. I like to keep rosemary growing in a pot in my house. It's really good all year. So I'm just gonna grab a stalk And then you just take the rosemary at the top, pull back like you're rubbing your cat the wrong way, and you get all the leaves off. Take the tip off. Take the stalk, pull it back, and we'll just give this a rough chop too. I think rosemary goes really well with any red meat. It has a lot of flavor. The meat can really stand up to it. Just give this another rough chop and add it to the bowl. So finally, we're just gonna add a good amount of salt, because this is how you're seasoning your meat. And I'm gonna add a little pepper as well. I think a common misconception is that you need to add salt and pepper to everything. I don't think that's true. Pepper can sometimes burn and create a bitter flavor. So you really wanna make sure that when you're using pepper, it's for the right thing. I always use salt, but you wanna really think about how you're using pepper. We're gonna add some olive oil, just about a tablespoon or so we get a nice paste. I'm gonna use my hands, a cook's best friend, and just get in there. So we've got a nice paste. It's not too wet. We're just gonna cover our meat with it. When you're roasting roast beef, you wanna make sure you roast it fat side up. I'm gonna give my hands a little rinse. So I'm gonna flip this roast over, and you can see we've got it fat side up. That way the fat drips down into the meat, giving it more flavor and rendering beautifully. You wanna save that. You don't wanna trim that fat off. I am gonna just slice it a little bit with my knife, just to help it render a little bit more. Just like you would do with a duck breast. And ask your butcher to tie up your roast for you so that it's all in one uniform shape. Okay, so we're just gonna coat the top of this roast with this beautiful herb mixture. Definitely make sure your roast is room temperature. That will make sure it starts cooking right away instead of steaming first. Okay, so I've taken a sheet pan fitted with a rack so that the fat will drip down away from the meat so the meat's not cooking in its own fat. And I will reserve those drippings to make a sauce for any leftovers I have to make like a French dip sandwich. Okay. Take all these herbs, make sure they don't go to waste, and pop it in the oven. 325 degrees for about an hour and a half. I'll check it in an hour. Voila. If you're hangry for more, make sure you've subscribed to Hangry District YouTube channel right here.